If you want to get better at backgammon, one of the best ways to do it is by practicing against a software such as Extreme Gammon or XG. It has a lot of tools and features that you can use to help learn and improve. And that's exactly what I'm doing in this video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. And if you love backgammon, you can become a member of this channel, giving you exclusive access to the most popular videos. My book, Backgammon Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. Again, in this video, I'm playing a practice match against XG. It will be a 5-point match playing on a beautiful Wycliffe Brothers green board with black and white points. The XG board is made by Rain. He makes beautiful XG boards. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. I'm playing the red checkers at the bottom, XG the yellow checkers at the top, bearing off on the right. And here we go. 3-1 makes the 5-point. Now 6-3, split. 5-2 hits loose. 6-4, so that was awkward. I have to come in there and come out. 6-4 hits and steps up. 3-2. Okay, so I can come in with the 3. If I come in with the 3, then I can lift this blot, or I can lift this blot. So I think this one would look better. It leaves 3s here. 3s are good there. Now, if I come in with the 2, I can clean up this blot. So that leaves 3s here. I'm a little bit further back. I think I actually like this 10-point better. Okay. 5-4, points on head. 6-5 cannot come in. Now it's a double. Okay, so look at the position, look at the race, and look at the threats. The position, I'm behind. There's a 3-point board against a 1-point board, but there's a blot in it. Okay, and I only have 1 checker back, 1 checker halfway back. Yellow has 2 checkers back here. There's a blot over here. In terms of the race, I'm behind. What are the threats? Hitting this checker would be bad, but it's going to be hard to cover that. So I think I still have time. This 10-point is some sort of outfield presence to block a little bit of these back checkers. I may have some time to come in and anchor, especially with this flat structure. Only 9 checkers in the zone. Maybe if there was another checker in the zone, it would be a pass. So I'll take this one. There are going to be some gammons, which are costly on a 2-cube here. So let's take and see what happens. 5-4 comes around. 5-2, it cannot come in. 3-2 hits. Okay, 4-2 comes in with 1. Okay, so that's the lava blitz. Look, just blitzing. Low points are just as valuable as high points. 5-1 cannot come in. Now covers. Cannot come in with the 6-1. 6-5 makes the point. Can't come in with the 6-4. Double 4. Can't come in. Double 3. Okay, so there's 2. And now I'm going to have to make the 5-point. Get 2 crossovers and make an innerboard point. 4-1 covers. Okay, double 6. So I'm going to make the 4-point. Not going to move from the back. Can't move from the back. Okay, 6-3, 6. And then do I slot it? I might get a shot, but I don't like the alternative. So got to slot it anyway. What leaves a shot? Like 6-4. Okay. Double 3. Okay. So 3-2. How much do I need to save the gammons? So I can make the point and get a crossover there. And if I really want to save the gammons, I could go like this. But I think I could afford to do this. Okay, double 3. 1, 2, 3, and get a crossover. Okay, double 1. Now I'm going to come in. Actually, I'm going to slot there, or I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. think maybe just slotting it like this. Okay, now I'm gonna run 4. And I think I just continue. Don't need to safety that. 4-3, come in. 6-5 is bad. 3-2 is not so bad. I think I can afford to hang out for one more. Okay, here's a shot. Can't hit it, so now just trying to save the gammon, and that is saved. Okay. 2-0, 5 away, 3 away. Makes the 3-point, make the bar point. So that blocked the double sixes. We'll go in there. 5-1. So there's the 5. And then, can I do something like this? Sometimes that's the right idea. But against a stronger board, probably just have to play passive. Doesn't really duplicate any 4s or 3-1. 2-1. So here, oftentimes it's thematic to make the 5-point, but here played like that. 6-2. So now I'm going to have to hit loose. 4-2 hits. 5-3. So there's the 5. I'm going to have to hit back. 3-1 will hit somewhere right there. 6-4. So there's the 4. And then I think I stay back over here, duplicate the 2s that hit. If I do the other one, there are 3s that hit here and 1s and 2s. So 6-4 hits the hard way. 6-2 cannot come in. Okay, so doubling at 3 away, 5 away. There are some gammons, but I do have this anchor, and the cube vig is very powerful at 5 away, 3 away. And there's a long way to go. So I think I could still take this. Double 4 makes the 5-point on head. So now I'm hoping this blockade holds up. Doesn't look like it will. So now I want to just save the gammon. If I can, I might need to get a shot. Okay, 6, and then spread out the checkers. Okay, 5-4. Just going to slot both points to the back of the prime, or I can make it here and then come out. I think maybe coming out and making it here. 6-3, so 6-3. I'm just trying to bear on these back points. 3-1. We'll just slot the back of the prime. Okay, here's a shot. 2-1 doesn't hit. Probably going to concede the gammon, so make that point. Double 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, full prime. 5-2, so I'm going to stay back here. These types of positions are discussed in Bob Wachtel's book, In the Game Until the End. Okay. So here I have to stay in case he rolls a double 1. All right, now I'll analyze it. This is where the learning begins. So I go through all of the moves. And some of the features you could use on XG is moving things to the other side. So you could change the layout and put the panel on the right side. Or you can put it on the left side like that. And this is what you can do. So you could look at the move, you could look at the summary. When you are looking at the move, so some of the features of XG, it will show you all of the plays. So for example, with this 3-1, of course, the top play is 8-5, 6-5, making the 5-point. Now, there are 3 radio buttons at the bottom. So there's initial, arrow, and final. If you hit initial, it will display the initial position before anything was moved. If you click on arrow, it will put arrows to where the checkers go for that selected play. And then if you select the final radio button, it will show you the final position after the play has been made and the dice become lighter. Okay. And here it will show the equity. So here it's plus 0.235 for yellow, of course. So that's the value of what it's worth. And then underneath, it has uh, three sets of numbers. So the first three are P, that's the player, and it shows you the wins, the total wins, single wins, gammons, and backgammons all combined here. And then the second one is the gammons, the third one is the backgammon wins. And then there's a section that says O, and it shows the same things for your opponent. Opponent's wins, gammon wins, and backgammon. So your losses, gammon losses, and backgammon losses. And if you click on the next one, you can see the difference. So now this one has an equity of negative 0.006, which is 0.241 less than the top play. So that's what the second number indicates. If you hover your mouse over here, it will give you a pop-up window. So it says chances to win this game, and it shows those details there. The other thing that's useful is that at the bottom, it shows the cubeless equity. So that's your equity if there were no cube in play. And that's useful to compare with the cubeful equity, which is displayed here when you're thinking about possible moves that will gain if you want a cube. So we'll see if we see some of those. Okay, so now after the 3-1, I'll put it on arrow. The right play is to split and come down. Running all the way is close. Now, it turns out that if you roll a 6-4, the right play is to run. So I'm going to copy this and paste it on another board. So this is what you can do. You open up another window of XG, okay? And then you hit Control-Shift-C for copy. And then when you go to the other window, you hit Control-V for paste. Let me try that again. Control-C. Okay, it'll ask you, it'll say the current game is not saved. Do you want to save it now? No. Okay, so now you can modify it. So now let's say we modify it to a 6-4. This is a common one people don't get. The right play is to actually run all the way. This should be analyzing it much faster. So, oh, this is at the score. Okay, so here it's running. I see a lot of people splitting. Small error. And then making the 2-point is an error. It's just useful to know these because these things come up all the time. And if you start making small errors, they add up over time. So that's the right play. Okay, then the 6-4, I had to come in and then come out for lack of a better alternative. And then the 3-2, yeah, this is what I said. It's really nice to have this. The second play was to hit loose here. And this is the final position here. This is highly volatile. So you see, it wins fewer games, but it wins more gammons and loses more gammons. So there's a higher volatility. You can see this by looking at dice distribution. So if you click and select these two and right click and go to dice distribution, you can see the volatility is actually not that much higher after this play. But you can see the graph. I like to double click it. Gives me a 2D version. Okay, and then so here double 6 is really good, but all the other rolls are bad. Here there's a little bit less. The double 6 is bad. And of course, when the opponent rolls a double 6 from the bar, it's good for you. Okay, so those are some of the features of XG that you can use. Okay, and then I couldn't move here, and this was a double, and this was a take. So we can see on XG, if you go to analyze dice distribution, so it will show you all of this. So I double click here to make it a 2D graph, and then you click the icon with the most red bars. Here there are 5 red bars. See, it starts out by first roll, 1 ply, second roll, something else, I don't know. But now it's 4 ply, 3 ply. That's a stronger level of analysis. And now I click on after double take, and it will show all the market losers. So look at this. This is 1. So this is where you lose your market. Double 6 is huge. Double 6 loses the market by a lot. And then there's double 3, double 4, double 5, and then 6-3 barely. But there are a lot of them that don't. There are also the second rolls that are important to look at because all these dancing rolls are really bad. So it's a combination. And you can look at this. You double click here. The 1 is here. These are all the sequences, the 2-roll sequences that lose the market. Okay, so on here, there's a lot of gammon wins, but only 63% wins, but 32% gammons. So it's useful to look at this at other scores, and that's what I do, and that really helps learn about match strategy. So the first thing I always do is put it for unlimited games. So look, here it's only worth 768 millipoints, whereas at this score now it's worth 824. Well, why is that? These gammons are more valuable on a 2 cube. So if you go to analyze and cube information, you'll see this. So if you click on this tab here, it'll tell you the gammon value. If you look at unlimited games, it's 0.5. All right, but now if you go to a match, 5 away on a 2 cube, this is elevated, 0.655. So you see here, all these gammons are worth more at this score, which is why the equity is higher. So let's see at other scores where gammons are even more valuable. Let's say I'm losing, I'm trailing 1-0, 5 away, 4 away. Those gammons are even more valuable. And now look at that, it becomes a pass, even though I'm trailing in the match. A lot of people think, oh, you'd be more aggressive when you're trailing, but not at all the scores. Okay, what if it were 4 away, 4 away? Now it's a bigger pass. What if it were 3 away, 4 away? Now you have some strong recubes. Look at that, it's not even a double. It's not even a double. So you see this cubeless equity, it shows it here. The difference between these two is the value of cube ownership. When I'm trailing 4 away, 3 away, it's huge. But at this score, it's much less. The difference between 1.137 and 0.824. Okay, so that's one thing I do. And then you can change the score here. And now let's change the position to see what would make it a no double. Well, I would say if you safety that lot, now it's a no double. So this is how you learn from XG. You have to modify the position. You have to do an experiment. You have to think of a possible position that you can change or modify that will change the cube action. So by doing that, now you see it's a double again. So it indicates that the threat of hitting here is big. Okay, so what would make it a pass? Well, what if this were here? Now there are more numbers that hit. See, now it's a pass. Okay, and then what about other features? Well, yellow has some work to do. So what if yellow has one there? Now it's a pass because there's less to juggle on both sides of the board. Let's go back here and bring another builder into here. Now that's going to be very powerful because now I can cover with 5s. Now that's a big pass. What if this were out here and it's an indirect number? So now this is borderline. Okay, so that indicates that this extra checker in the zone is very important. Also, we saw that this blot is very important. If it's safetied, it's a no double. Also, these back checkers, there's going to be a lot of work to do for yellow to bring these around while simultaneously trying to hit this checker and try to close this board. That's a lot to juggle. But when you bring one out, there's one fewer thing that yellow needs to do. So that becomes a factor. Okay, so then there was the 4-2. There wasn't much I could do here. The double 3. Look at that. It likes making the 3-point. Yes, it doesn't want to leave a blot. Okay, like, so if there's like a double 5, I guess you could play it safe, but like a double 1, I'll get a shot, don't want to leave a blot on the board. Okay, and then go back to arrow. Double 6 was, as I discussed, and then the 6-3 was down and slot. Okay, and then here I discussed it. I don't have to save the gammon so much. It's not a huge difference, but this is going to win me more games, making this point and having the prime. And then the double 3. Yep, these were tied. When they're within like 10 millipoints, don't make a big deal of it. Oh, it likes saving a 6. So like this, saving 1 crossover. So they're not a lot of gammons because I can bring those 2 around. But these are virtually tied. Okay. 5-4 was this is where you run. And then here it saved a 6. So saving a 6 means keeping 1 out so that I don't have to come out with the next 6. So I prefer this, which results in this position. So if I roll a 6 next, I can play this in rather than being forced out. So not a lot of gammons. So this does lose 2% more gammons, but it wins about 2% more games. So that's the trade-off. Okay, 4-3, I had to stay. And then I missed 4-2, and that was it for game 1. Okay, on to game 2. So the 6-1 was standard. And this is the one that I was looking at. So the right play was the slotting play. One of the things I've learned from XG is early in the game, it's very useful to slot the 5-point with an ace. Because you really want to unstack this 6-point. Usually when both sides have a 1-point board, it's not a big deal. But here, I was afraid of the board strength. So I didn't do it. But look at this distribution. What happens is, if you're hit, of course, it's bad. But when you're missed, it's really good. So you look at this. Now it's going to be very difficult for me to make a point next. So I'll show you the dice distribution I've created. This is the dice distribution tool I've created from XG. This shows an equity heat map on the upper left for play A, the top play. So this shows my resulting equity after each of the opponent's following rolls, double 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, and so forth, with an average column on the right. The panel on the upper right shows the same thing for play B, the selected play. Now these two are on a color scale from blue to red. Blue is good, red is bad. The darker the blue, the better, the darker the red, the worse, and they're on the same color scale. All right, now the panel on the lower left shows the equity difference heat map. So it takes the equity in a given value, the equity value in a given cell on the upper right, and subtracts that from the equity value in the corresponding cell on the upper left. So on the lower left, blue favors play A, red favors play B, and the intensity corresponds to the amount that is favored. And you can see that plotted on a vertical histogram here on the lower right. So you see, of course, if we're hit with a 4, it's really bad, but if we're not hit, it's really good, and all these make up for this. You can see that here. This shows the same thing, but now it's for my next roll, so it's a second roll. So you can see what happens. My second rolls become really good, and over here, it's really good because it's much easier to make a subsequent point. This one shows the cube impact. So I'm going to get much closer to a cube after play A than after play B. So again, you see after this, I can make this point with 1s and 3s, which is nice. But after this, it's going to be really awkward. The fact that this is still stacked is a big problem. So that's the idea there. I think maybe what can change it. So let's go to this one. Paste it here. What if these two were split? Let's see what it says. Now they're very close, but still it favors this play, even when they're split. Okay, what if they're split and the board is stronger? Now you have to be a little bit more careful. Still, wow. What if it's stronger still? Well, now you can split back here. Yeah, you can split there, but what if it were like that? Look at that. It still likes the slotting play, even when the board is stronger. What if you make the board even stronger now? Now slotting becomes more dangerous against a 4-point board. Look at that. It still likes the slot. So that's something really useful to learn from XG. Slotting the 5-point is oftentimes correct. All right, so then the 6-2 come in and I had to hit there. And the 5-3, again, you have to hit. You have to put them on the bar. And this, for the reasons I discussed, was right to come out with a 6 over here. And now this was a double and this was a take. So again, let's look at this at a different score. So let's look at it for money. It's a big pass, but at this score, it's still a take. There are a lot of gammons. But I have a lot of power on the recube. So what if it were 3 away, 4 away now? Now it becomes a pass. Interesting. So let's look at the dice distribution after double take here. There's some crushing rolls. Here's the one. So double 2, 3, 2, double 3, double 1, double 6, all these ones that hit. Double 2 is huge, double 3 is huge, double 6 will hit here and bring another one down. Okay, but still at this score, it was still a take. Let's see, what else can I do? I mean, if we put it here and now I put this checker here, now that should become a pass because now this is 6 away, right? And what if this were back here? How big of a difference that is that makes? So now it's a small double. So that extra checker helps a lot. What if things were a little bit different? What if I were up here? Then there's more of an incentive to hit. Yeah. So going back and what if I had the 5 point? That's huge. Now this is no double, but going back to the original position like this is still a big no double. Let's see the difference between the 5 point and the 4 point. Still a no double, but it's closer. Okay, so it was the score. So there are a lot of gammons, but as soon as I anchor, those gammons decrease, and if I ever redouble, those gammons get killed. Okay, so that was forced. What else? There wasn't a lot here. This was forced. This was forced. The 5-4. It wanted me to play here. Oh, this 6-4 wasn't forced. You just bring one down. So what did it like here? Okay, small error. 14-5. Okay, so it looks like you're conceding the gammon 66.2% versus 67.8. You win a few, yeah, 14.8%. Yeah, so this is going to win more because you're slotting the prime. Okay. And then the 3-1, these were all close. It did like unstacking the 6 point. Okay, and now here, these were all close. Couldn't hit. Couldn't do anything here, just made that point. 5-2 come around, and I had this shot. I had to stay. Let's see if I left. Now double 1 basically wins. So that was it. I lost the backgammon, but that didn't matter because I was going to lose the match anyway. So that was a good match. It was interesting. There's always something to learn, and I showed you a lot of tools that you can use on XG to learn and improve. So in particular, like those doubling decisions, you can modify the position, modify the score, do the same with the checker plays, and look at the dice distribution. These are all valuable tools, and you can see the different things in the analysis in XG. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you'd like to see in future videos, and I'll work on it. And if you love backgammon, you can become a member of this channel, giving you exclusive access to the most popular videos. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in the lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is also in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.